iPod, iPhone playing music. I mean, I can go on and on and on.
Can I just say ditto why he talks quick?
Yeah, I mean, I could go on a rant about. Well, I will. Mitch from iRun had a 15K out in Bernie this last weekend, and he did a phenomenal job. There's no complaints I have about that race from start to finish, from packet pickup to post race party, you name it. It was first class all the way. And out in the race, one of the leaders, had some problems. He had a seizure while he was running, and they called the ambulance. And as the ambulance is coming out, sirens are going, they're hitting their horn, and people had their earbuds in, their iPhones on, music so loud they could not hear the ambulance's sirens. So we're just talking about that on the course with somebody else. If you cannot hear
instructions,
if you can't hear an ambulance siren, you can't hear people around you, you can't hear your surroundings. It's just unsafe all the way around. If you're going to play your music, go one ear with the earbud in, the other one out. I don't care if you can't hear the drum solo on half of it. I don't care. You just got to be safe.
Got to be safe, right?
No, because we've done races, and I've announced races for you before, but that when I hand you the microphone, the very first thing that he says is take out your headphones so you can hear the instructions.
Right.
Because we all know, we sit there and rock and roll forbids them, but people wear them anyway. We know that, but they don't hear the instructions. So how are they going to know what to do?
Right.
So yeah, and we've said it in USA Track and Field. You're an official, so you know that the rule is there are no earbuds.
Actually, They adjusted it a little bit. And the top folks can't wear them. The folks running for prize money can't wear them, but
we all run for prize money.
They were a little bit lenient on it. About 6 months after they started enforcing the rule. So,
yeah. What's your point on it?
The thing is, it's the environment you're in. If you're running in McAllister Park and you don't mind somebody attacking you, you can wear your headphones. But if you're out in traffic, or the race course requires you to take different directions, if it requires you to take different directions so much that there's someone there directing you, even if he has his arm up. I mean, when I first moved to San Antonio, the San Antonio Roadrunners had a 10K course, and the police officer directing traffic gave wrong directions, and the course came out to be about 10 miles instead of a 10K. And Runner's World picked up on it and said, in Texas, everything is larger, including the 10K. But it was only because the police officer was there and he was directing traffic,
right.
And the lead runner thought he said, go that way.
Right.
And he had his arm up to stop traffic. So the lead runner went the wrong way, and everybody that saw him followed him.
I was that lead runner.
And look, I always tell my runners and a lot of runners that one of the reasons why you do not really need to listen to music, you need to be able to listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to your breathing, listen to your foot strike. There's a lot of different things you can hear that your body is doing while you're doing work, while you're running, that can give you great feedback, and so that you can do adjustments. And that comes with time, that comes with experience. But that's one of the reasons. I mean, I have worn iPods, and I do some of my work on a treadmill. Every time I'm on a treadmill, I have music, because you talk about boring. That's a little bit boring,
Hamster on a treadmill.
But outside, almost never.
The other thing, too, is I try to teach my runners to go without all the whistles and bells, because for many, many years, I could run with you, and at any pace, I could tell you how fast we were moving.
Yep.
Because my body was adapted.
Right.
I could, I would know how much I was applying myself, how much I was not applying myself, and I could tell you if we're doing a 6:30 pace or a 10-minute pace. And nowadays, people rely on the iPod to tell them how fast you're going.
GPS, and you got to have this satellite uplink and all those other things. Michelle, when we're out riding, she's got an iPhone adapter that goes on her handlebars, and it tells you your pace is, you've gone X amount of miles, you've done X amount of elevation. And I'm like, I just want to ride, But right. It's one of those things that it's different day and age. All three of us are long-time runners, I will say.
Old school, Mark.
Old school. There you go. I would say seasoned runners, because I don't run with the watch. I just run as fast as my body will let me go. But you guys are speed demons. You're all, worried about time and everything, and I'm just kidding with you. But there are folks that are like, oh, I'm uploading my data. And I know you've got elite athletes, but I'm uploading my data, and oh, my wattage was different from yesterday. And, but food is going to come into play. If they drank a lot of Shiner the night before, it's going to come into play.
Oh, amen.
So let's talk about hydration real quick, guys, because obviously it's not 108 degrees like it usually is in July. So, but that comes into play as we talk about the heat factor. But when your guys are out running, you have people out running, training for whatever, how are they getting their hydration? Or how do you recommend folks to do their hydration in training and then in racing?
Well, in training with my runs, I always bring 5 to 10 gallons of ice water to my group workouts at the track, or for my camp we meet at Opish Naval Park. The kids have access to water all the time. When we're doing our long runs, we do a lot of long runs out Scenic Loop out in Helotes, and I will drop a 5-gallon cooler of water, ice water, along with cups in a garbage bag. And so my runners, we used to put it every 2 miles. I think that's a bit much.
But you don't get that in races.
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
Yeah,
but I put them. I put one at 3, 5, and this weekend I'll go 3, 5, and 7 because we have some runners are going to go 14 to 16 miles, so that they're never really more than 3 miles from water. And then some of my runners with a little bit of less velocity will carry the fuel systems, a fuel belt, or a Nathan hydration, just so that they can carry it with them a little bit. Sometimes some people are comfortable carrying it, a water bottle in the hand. So we just make the water, and that's all we put on the course. It's water. We really don't do much with electrolytes.
I spoil my runners. I provide my truck, and I'm the driver, and I give them water every mile and a half. Depending on what their needs are, because at some point, some people need it more often than others.
Right.
And I just try to keep check with them to make sure that they're okay. First of all, that they stay on the course. Second, that they stay hydrated, and that if they have a problem, give them a ride. So
now, with rock and roll coming up, do you recommend? Because every race has different things out on the course. Some people have goo, some people have power bar. Do you recommend to your athletes, hey, if this is going to be your peak event, if this is what you're actually training for, do you tell them to use what's going to be on the course? Because race day, their stomach may not get used to it, or they'd be like, hey, I can't stomach, this kind of drink.
Yeah, I would definitely say practice for what you preach. So
right.
If you're going to run with goo, you need to try it out before you get to the race. You don't want to get sick race day. I mean, I went to Houston. I did Houston 13 times. I went to Houston one year, and they had a new drink. Coca-Cola came out with a new drink. It's not on the market. But that year it was on the market, and they gave Houston's Marathon tons of it.
Right.
I took a sip of it and got sick and thought, I'm just drinking water from here on. And I had never heard of the drink before I got there. They told me about it at the expo. I didn't drink it at the expo. I went out on the course and got thirsty and tried it. It didn't work.
I got you.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's like drinking moonshine for the first time. Don't try it.
I completely agree. We've talked about this and other times that I've spoken with you about nutrition. My runners, almost all of them, we don't use a lot of gels, blocks.
Right.
We use a preload nutrition product called Generation UCAN, and so we can get away with just drinking water on the course. It's a slow burning carbohydrate burn that you can use, or if they do a gel, we like a naturally sweetened gel. We use.
So you're not recommending the strawberry banana caffeine times 3?
If you'd use it in training, I have used the high caffeinated gels. They work well. There's a place for caffeinated gels in races. There's a lot of elite runners that use it, but again, like John said, it's something you have to practice with. I'm always leery of the sports drink on the course. If someone's going to use that, and that's what they know, that every 2 miles or every other aid station they're going to drink electrolytes, and then the next one they're going to drink water. Then obviously, yes, I tell them to make sure that they're practicing with that drink in their long runs.
Yes,
but,
I agree.
But for me, we do UCAN before, and then we drink water in our long runs. And as it gets warmer, we'll do some different electrolyte stuff. And every once in a while, we'll have runners that, when we're going on they know we're doing a long run and I'm dropping stuff. They'll give me stuff to drop for them at different checkpoints. So
yeah, that's important, because we know a lot of folks that it's going to be their first time. Let's talk about rock and roll, but it's going to be the first time rock and roll marathon half or whatever. So they're going to go to the expo and they're going to get caught up in all the freebies that a lot of people give out, because Cliff shot blocks are going to be there. Oh, here, try these, mocha, cappuccino, frappuccino shots. You're going to need these tomorrow. And people are like, oh yeah, and then they take them, and then like you said, at mile 3, their body's going, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. You should not have done that.
Yep,
because
exactly.
you have not trained with that.
Right.
You have not done that. So when is the time, and I know the answer to this because you both of you guys have coached me throughout my years, but when is the time that folks that are training for rock and roll or a fall marathon, New York or whatever, when should they get the shoes, and how many miles should they put on their shoes before they get a new pair?
Most people that have been running more than 5Ks have a favorite pair of shoes.
I like that.
And what you do is get a pair, during a training phase, don't wear worn out shoes.
Right.
No point in running all these miles and getting injured. And the race day shoe should be purchased about a month in advance, and you should have somewhere between 75 and 100 miles on them.
Yep.
They should be well broken in, but not worn out. Yep. They still have plenty of cushioning. I mean, the truth is, I never, ever recommended anybody wear a brand new shoe for a marathon. But two of my Houston marathons, since it's 19 miles of concrete, I laced up a brand new pair of shoes and ran the marathon on new shoes. But that style, I had gone through 50 pairs of shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
In that particular style. So I knew what the shoe was going to do.
The old adage or old advice of never do anything new on race day is sound principle advice. It really is. However, when it comes to shoes and clothing and stuff, that's when, back when shoes had a little bit of leather in the upper and you really had to break them in.
No, I wasn't wearing combat boots.
Are you talking about the old Pegasus?
Yeah. So, I mean, there really was a break-in period for shoes. Shoes still, you should, again, I would never recommend to anybody to get a new pair of shoes. But if you're traveling to a marathon, I always tell my runners, carry your racing shorts, shirts, socks, everything in your shoes. Carry them with you on the plane or if you're flying.
When you're carry-on.
Right. However, if for some reason you get like me and I lost a bag going to Boston in 2008, I lost my bag. Fortunately, I got it back, but even I was like, they're okay. They won't lose this. And they lost the bag. I didn't get it till the day before the race. But you really can, as John said, you can go to the expo or the local running store and find that shoe, find a good pair of shorts. You can do it in brand new stuff. It's not recommended, but if you lost your running shoes,
just don't wear anything too tight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because you'll get chafed and go, why did I wear these shorts?
We had talked about that on the Fit Kitchen, and we've talked about it before. Nipple bleeding, you can get Band-Aids or nip guards. Like iRun's got nip guards and everything like that. But it's one of those things, like if you have not worn that style of shirt in all the miles and miles of training, don't go, I'm gonna wear this one I just bought from the expo in the race, because that material, underarm or wherever is gonna get you at mile 18, 19.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure, absolutely.
And you should do a practice race pace run with your racing gear. You should.
Right. With your iPod.
With your iPod and GPS. And your 7 gels.
Your 7 gels packed in. But folks, here, listen to I Speak For You, John Purnell, Gary Brimmer, 2 incredible coaches. If you have any questions, you can text us at the station number 210-374-0140. Text in your questions and they'll answer it to you live. Or you can speak to us on chat on Spreaker.com. The user is I Speak For You. This is Mark with I Speak For You, and we'll be right back.
Were you aware? Texas has a law that commercial vehicles, when passing a road user such as a cyclist, runner, or walker, must obey a 6 feet distance between said vehicle and the road user. Texas also has a law that all vehicles, when passing a road user, must obey a 3 feet distance. Can you see